So I thought we would check in on Doctor Who and the BBC. It's not looking good, as you can see from this brief article. Doctor Who, BBC Studios still hasn't figured out how it will fund the series moving forward. Now this is something which I reported, I think it was happening whilst the second season of this Doctor was still going on. I'm fairly certain I reported it during that time. But it was like a known thing that the BBC had stated, we cannot make this show without a partner. It's impossible to fund this show without a partner now. And that's, the BBC as an entity is falling apart under the sheer weight of its ignorance, right? It's fairly obvious what people are rejecting in media. And the BBC, obviously an ideologically captured entity, is just like, no, everything's fine. Don't worry about it. The house is burning down, but we still need to keep that fire alight for whatever reason. That is what they're doing. They could course correct. They're choosing not to. And it is pure ideology, right? No matter what you think of the ideology, but if you're doing something as a business, which the BBC does have a business arm, and it does have, of course, a sort of publicly funded arm, but you still need to function as a business even on a publicly funded arm, because you can't justify pouring loads and loads of money and also trying to get partners to pour loads and loads of money into a product which no one's watching. It doesn't get that return on investment, i.e. viewership. Disney doesn't want to work with Doctor Who and the BBC because no one was watching it. So you still have to go down that road, but when it's just ideology blinding you, you're not factoring in any of this return on investment. You're just going, this is what needs to be done, so we're just going to keep going. Even though it's very clear, very obvious that what you're doing, what it is you think has to be done, is the cause of your decline. It's mental, really. It's genuinely insane. But that's ideology for you, right? Not open to any other things. Not open to any other possibilities that you might be wrong. So, like I said, I thought we'd check in on it. And there was an interview with Deadline. And here is the interview. Zay Bennett, BBC Studios Master Plan. Production boss creates global content unit as he talks Doctor Who, Strictly Come Dancing, and 2026 being the year of delivery, but not for Doctor Who. That's patently obvious. I mean, he literally says there's no plans for Doctor Who. Not yet, anyway. So I thought we'd take a look. This is just a better summary of it all. I don't want to go through that whole interview, although it is interesting. So I'd encourage you guys to check it out. It's on Deadline. But as I say this, last October, we learned that Disney Plus had decided to scrap its Doctor Who partnership with the BBC. The streamer had teamed with the British Broadcasting Company to bring the long-running sci-fi series to a global audience, to marvel it, basically. Right, that was the idea behind their partnership with the BBC, was to make it, I think, they referenced, the MCU, Marvel, and I guess the idea was to, I don't know, position it as a high-profile franchise now. I don't know. I don't. It was a weird thing to do anyway. So that included a significant budget increase, meant to give the show a big budget feel, bringing it more in line with high-concept series like Game of Thrones and The Mandalorian. Mental. Again, bizarre thing to do. So, following the 60th anniversary special starring David Tennant and Catherine Tate, the first two seasons of Doctor Who's latest revival struggled to find an audience, both in the UK and on Disney+. Not helping matters was repeated backlash surrounding showrunner Russell T Davies' woke approach to the stories being told. It was woke. There's no two ways about it. That's a guy, Russell T Davies, RTD the retarded, is a guy that just writes what he knows. He admits to writing his life, basically. And, he's a gay man. So it is going to come from this woke sort of lens, basically. That is what it's going to be told through. Intersectional gay race communism lens. That's it. That's him through and through. So Ncuti Gatwa, who appeared sporadically during Season 1 due to other commitments, left the series after the Season 2 finale, regenerating into a female Doctor with Billie Piper's face. So a Christmas special, written by Davies, is coming to the BBC this year. It's been widely theorised that it will mark the end of Davies' latest stint in the TARDIS, with a new creative team eventually taking the Time Lord back to the drawing board once the Piper story is resolved. Because again, they've got to try and wrap that up. So whatever happens, the series is likely to have its budget slashed, which is very, very true. They cannot maintain that funding. They just can't, and he openly admits it. So BBC Studios production chief told Deadline, for the show to continue long beyond its 2026 Christmas special, the BBC now needs to replace some of that lost budget, which totals millions of pounds per hour. Millions of pounds per hour. And the end result was what we'd seen before, which was the lowest rated in all of Doctor Who's history. What an epic waste of money. What are you doing? Epic waste of cash. So asking Bennett whether BBC Studios is willing to come up with the money needed to keep Doctor Who alive, the executive said he won't speak for the BBC and added that we're all in it together when it comes to the Doctor's future. We're a big, important part of Doctor Who and are all motivated to make sure Doctor Who has a long and flourishing life. We've got the Christmas special coming after that. It's time for us all to work on it. Yeah. Because because it's done. I mean, apparently the budget was $6 to $8 million an episode. And it looked like that. Where was it going? Like, was Russell spending it on Rent Boys or something? Like, where'd the money go? $6 to $8 million an episode. Remember, the highest budget TV show of all time at the time was Game of Thrones, and they worked their budget up to $8 to $10 million in the final season. Pretty certain it was the final season. So 6 to 8 million, and we ended up with Doctor Who. Yeah, where's the money gone, mate? Like, if that ain't washing money somewhere, I don't know what is. That's mad. So it's not the most encouraging update, but it does go somewhere in confirming that the Whoniverse is going back to the drawing board. Yeah, it should just be shelved for a bit, which seems like it's going to be. So there may still be some issues between the BBC and Disney Plus, because there's still no word on a Disney Plus premiere date for the war between the land and the sea, despite it landing on the BBC late last year. This is what Disney actually paid for, but they're like, nah, don't really care, whatever. It's previously been reported that Disney regretted spending so much on the series. You'll recall that the deal was made when former Disney CEO Bob Chapek was throwing as many resources as possible into streaming, and the budget was between 6 and 8 million an episode, taking the value of this deal to as much as 169 million. I think it was reported at the time like $200 million. This is mad. So there you go. I mean, look, Doctor Who's dead, obviously, but this is mad stuff. Absolutely mad. Just shelve it. Just shelve it for a while, because it's not worth it. It's not worth it. No one wants to watch this. No one's interested, because you're blinded by ideology. You know how to fix it. Everyone knows how to fix it. You're actively choosing not to.